Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, and a special big hello to Peter Winters from Richmond in the US. He tweeted me about the recent Adobe acquisition episode where I spoke to Adobe about their $1.68 billion acquisition of Magento. So he tweeted me saying he used both, and maybe Adobe could use those advanced features that are proprietary, especially their AI machine learning algorithms. And Peter also went on to say, a big thank you for your podcast. I have learned a lot, and I have learned so much, and it feeds my inner tech geek. Keep up the great work. You are most welcome, Peter. I'm always willing to feed anybody's inner tech geek, so I'm glad I've achieved that. And it's also a pleasure to serve you, my audience, because it's this engagement that makes recording this show so valuable. As many of you know, I often write in the Next Web, and I recently received an email saying, I loved your article, Is Voice Search Set to Become the Next Frontier? And they wanted to see if I'd be interested in hearing more about a company called Audioburst, which was pitched to me as essentially Google for audio. But when I delved a little bit deeper, I noticed there was a lot more to this company, because they use artificial intelligence to analyse millions of minutes of live and pre-recorded audio content every day. Everything from podcasts, radio streams and multiple other audio sources are all tagged, indexed and create audio segment bursts, which are then searchable by keyword, context and topic. Audioburst also recently announced partnership with Samsung Venture Investments and Bose as the company begins to integrate with technologies that will be the epicenter of our home and work environments within the next 5 years. And this really excites me. And what also excites me about what they're doing there is the ability to automatically transcribe my podcast episodes too. So I invited them on the show to find out more. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to Tel Aviv so we can speak with Audioburst. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Hi, my name is Asaf Gad. I'm the VP Marketing and heading the US activity for Audioburst.
So at Audioburst, you use artificial intelligence to analyse millions of minutes of live and pre-recorded audio content every day. But can you set the scene and tell listeners who are hearing about Audioburst for the very first time exactly what it is, what problems it solves, and also what makes it unique from all those other audio solutions out there?
Of course, that's why I'm here. So Audioburst is actually has a great mission to organize the world's audio. If you think about it, every piece of content around us is well organized and accessible through search engines, different interfaces. You can easily find it. When it comes to audio content, if we talk about podcasts, radio shows, even audio that comes from TV, you just listen to something interesting, you want to share it with your friend, you just want to listen to it again or to search it on Google, for example, it's impossible. And this is exactly where Audioburst started with the idea about 3 years ago to organize the world audio in a way that we will build a platform that will listen to all the audio content in the world, understand it for you, segment it, index it, and make it available through our library in every interface, starting from search engines, mobile apps, websites, smart speakers, virtual assistant, in-car infotainment system, actually changing the way people consume audio and the access for consumers to this audio over and over again. The way that it works is we build an AI platform, artificial intelligence platform, that has the ability to listen and understand just like a person. So the same way that you get a recommendation about a great podcast from a friend, our platform can become your friend and listen to all this podcast for you and tell you which pieces or which episodes are relevant or can be interesting based on your listening identity. And this is something that we find very important these days, where audio becomes so popular over virtual assistants, smart speakers, the rise in the popularity of podcasts, and people are so busy today, so they want to listen to more audio content while they are doing other stuff. So there is definitely a room to solve this problem of our busy lives.
I'm so relieved that you've said that, because even just me publishing this podcast to everybody listening, it's so complicated because people listen to it in a variety of different ways. I mean, there's some people listen to it via the Sonos smart speaker through TuneIn Radio. Others will listen to it on Amazon Alexa through maybe Spotify. And then you've got people in cars on Stitcher, and that's before you get to iTunes and all the other different methods. So in your opinion, what will the impact of audio search technology have on businesses in the near future?
So I think that the first thing, when you look at audio search, just because there is so much content out there, and unlike other type of content like text that you can briefly review it and decide if it's relevant for you or not, it's well indexed. So, you can search Google and count any search engine that will bring the right results for you. And usually all these kind of experiences are also personalized or localized, so each user gets exactly what he wanted to get. When it comes to audio, you really need to dive into the content itself in order to decide if it's relevant for you or not. And then you just find yourself listening to a full episode of podcast that doesn't necessarily worth the time listening to it. And this is exactly where a technology like Audioburst comes and actually understand word by word, analyze the content, understand all the context as well, and make it accessible in the right time and the right places for each one of the listeners. This will bring businesses, or first of all, content creators, to find this platform as a great tool to leverage and bring their content to so many places.
So how do you think that will impact the future of podcast creators, and also radio content too?
So there are three main issues here, or factors that we need to take into consideration. First of all, most of the content right now is consumed either as live stream or in its original form, meaning that you have a podcast, you have or a radio show, you can listen to it as it is from the beginning until the end. It's very hard to jump to the next topic, the next question within an interview, the next interview within a show, or anything like that. When it comes to technology like Audioburst, we actually provide the content creators the ability to create segmentation of their content. So if for you, the first part of a specific show is very interesting, and for me, the later part of the show is very interesting, each one of us can enjoy just the part that is relevant for him. And maybe tomorrow it will be the other way around, and you will get the part of the show that and find it very interesting that, just because the time passed and you want to explore a new topic within. This is exactly where we use our platform to understand the content, make and create all the metadata around it, make it accessible through search engines and search capabilities within our API to allow the exposure of certain type of shows and audio content in different places. Now, the second part that we find very interesting is that when it comes to audio, segmentation is very important. And this is where we come with the idea of a burst. The burst is an independent component of audio that has a good starting point, good end point, and a full context around a specific topic. And this topic can be a news item, it can be interview, or it can be even just a question and answer within an interview. When we package each one of the segmentation as an independent clips and put it within our library, we actually create new type of opportunities for the content creator to distribute their content in a new format. So we don't change anything within the original content. We are just slicing it based on the discussed topics to different chunks that can be consumed by new audiences that wouldn't listen to the full show in the first place. The second part is, since everything is fully indexed and we create all the metadata around it, we make it accessible on other platforms that is very difficult to get today. Everyone can collaborate with TuneIn, for example, and has his show broadcast live on different places. But if you want to listen to just part of it, or if you want to search within a specific show or specific podcast, it's very difficult to do or impossible in most cases. So first of all, we open up a full opportunity for new type of distribution. starting from smart speakers through in-car infotainment system and smart TVs, which is one of the collaboration announcement that we had a few months ago with Samsung. The second part is we also make this content available on demand. So, and this is mainly relevant for radio stations when most of the content is consumed live. But since we do all this segmentation and create the metadata around each piece of audio, we allow through our interface to consume this audio even a few minutes later, a few hours later, or sometimes even a few days later. Meaning that, when you start driving in your car and you just miss the traffic report, and you want to listen to it, you don't need to wait another 15 or 20 minutes to the next traffic report. You can just ask for it and get the most up-to-date traffic report that was broadcast a few minutes ago on the radio station. So we actually extend the shelf life of the audio content for the content creators and for the listeners. And the third part, which is the most important part, is monetization. It's create a new type of monetization on new platforms and also for new audiences.
So do you think that this will also create opportunities for greater monetization for those content creators too?
Yes, of course. As I just said, that this is something that first of all expand the audience for each one of our sources, the sources that we use. So if today most of your users come from a certain product or interface, now once you are part of our of the Audioburst library, and our interface is actually spread through different devices like smart TVs, smart speakers, in-car infotainment system, websites, mobile apps. Suddenly you have so many other places that you can find these audiences. And of course, the listening experience that we build for each one of the users, and this is the second part of what we are doing, is once we have this great library of audio and we have the users, the listeners that start listening to this audio in a very interactive and personalized way, it allows us to build a listening identity for each one of them. And based on the listening pattern, we can provide them, first of all, the best listening experience for the content that they are interested in. And the second thing, we can create new type of monetization here because we know the user, we know what he wants to listen to, what are the things that he cares about. And according to that, we can provide kind of an experience that is also provide a new type of monetization. So no more advertisement that were kind of broadcast to the masses. We can create here a more personalized and less intrusive monetization opportunities by content promotion, playlist sponsorship, and ads in between the different bursts in a playlist.
So what role will artificial intelligence have in this new future that we're speaking about here? I mean, do you see AI being at the heart of everything?
When it comes to audio, I think that, and specifically with the mission that we have in mind, I think AI has a great role here, just because we are trying to imitate the way that we as human beings understand and learn new things. If you think about it, when it comes to news, for sure, but also for any other topic that we are talking about and discussing, in order to understand it, in order to be able to automatically identify the discussed topic and also create a segmentation and decide that, this was a question and this was an answer, this was a news item, this was a traffic report. We can't control the news, of course. We can't control the content. The creativity within podcasts and radio shows change every day, and we see new stuff. So we need to build, using AI, we need to build a platform, and this is exactly what we do, that has the ability to predict what will be broadcast within a show. And when a new topic is discussed right now, or even the same topic is discussed in a different context, we need to use AI, and we need to leverage the AI capabilities in order to identify it in no time. Because every processing that we are doing is actually running in real time on our platform. So from the second that your podcast is aired, or from the second that the broadcast is available in a radio show or a radio station, the same moment our platform actually listen and understand and create all this magic around it. And this can be achieved only by very sophisticated AI technology.
Now, I'm quite conscious we're talking about the future here, and it's incredibly exciting. But I think also the story of how you got here is equally as exciting and as important. So could you share with me the story behind Audioburst and how you got where you are today?
So we are the founder of Audioburst is a group of people that come from different backgrounds. Some of them come from consumer apps, others from technology space, some are from the ad tech background. At the end of the day, when in the early days of Audioburst, the idea kind of a pop-up when we dealt with voice recognition, we dealt with this kind of technologies, and we wanted to see how we can leverage this technology and bring it to the masses. And one of the problems that we encounter as individuals is that when we listen to something, I think that the original story was an interview with one of our friends on radio that we want to share with other friends. And it was impossible. And we said, why? Everything today around us, every picture, every song, every video, every text that we are getting can be easily shared everywhere and can be easily searched within every search engine. Why this is not the case with audio? And this was the kind of original thought that behind, that actually started all this venture to build Audioburst as a platform.
So right here, right now, as CEO, what are your biggest challenges now?
I think that the biggest challenge here is to build a robust platform and technology. That this is exactly what we do, and now taking this technology and convert it to experience. And when it comes to audio, voice interaction, it's so new. There is a great hype around it, but when it comes to the user experience, it's not solved yet. You see the differences between the different virtual assistants, between different smart speakers. Every day we hear about new feature that is kind of added to this new interfaces, and also a lot of development and new features in the world of podcast and audio in general, but still we don't have like the magic formula, how exactly the experience for audio should be. It was solved for music. I think that today, when it comes to music, we see a lot of good mobile apps and other interfaces that provide a very personalized, comparing like 5 or 10 years ago, the music industry was changed. When it comes to talkable audio, it's still new. When we want, and specifically when we take it and combine it with search capabilities and also with the listening experience, it's a great challenge, mainly how the consumers will adopt it and what will be the magic formula to actually make it the best experience ever.
So what's next for Audioburst? I mean, are you on that trip or journey to create that best experience ever? Is there anything else you can share with us today or anything that's up and coming?
Of course. Actually, these days, we are launching a new product specifically for content creators. We call it Audioburst Creator. The tool is actually providing a behind the scene kind of experience for the content creators to see how the platform works and digest and process their content within our platform, allow them to use the content within the platform to share it on social media, of course, to get all the transcription within the platform. We transcribe every piece of audio that we have in order to do all this magic within our platform. So we give an access to the content creator to see exactly what the platform did with their content and allow them to, first of all, promote it, distribute it. Of course, this is a nice to have tool. All the content creators that already worked with us see the benefits, and there is zero effort from the content creator side. But we decided that in order to, first of all, expand to new topics and new type of audio, we need the help of the content creators to come and look and see that the way that we segment and index their content is actually the best way as they see it. And the second thing, we also hear their voices where there is a lake of tools that allow them to use their audio on social channels, on different products, on smart speakers, voice interfaces. And this is exactly the tool that will help them to do that. And, when we see the popularity of audio in general and the lake of tools that will allow content creators to do the simple thing, share audio file on Facebook, share audio file on Twitter, it is almost impossible today. You need to do a lot of kind of tricks in order to get there. And there are so few things that are doing or solving just part of it. So when we come up with the content creators, with the Audioburst creators tool, we actually gather all the feedbacks, all the complaints, all the feature requests from our content partners, and package it in one tool that will be launched next week. I think it's very challenging and very exciting days within Audioburst these days. And I'm great that we have this opportunity in your show to actually promote the new tool that we built to leverage the great content that podcasters and radio stations are creating every day.
Wow, a huge thank you for sharing that. Something I'm going to be interested in looking at, and I'm sure that a lot of people at home will be too, or not necessarily look, maybe listen. But can you remind the listeners of where they can find you online, maybe look at these new tools, or equally ask or contact a member of your team if they have any questions or want to continue the conversation after this podcast?
Of course. So for content creators, everyone can go to audioburst.com or to creators.audioburst.com. And just find the tools for content creators there. There is also the contact details if you need any help or if you want to contact one of the team member to get any kind of deeper explanation about what we do, but it should be very straightforward on the website itself. As for listeners, we do have a web interface that actually exposes the library to listeners, and also a set of partners and app developers that integrated our solution within their experience. Everything can be found on search.audioburst.com. And we would love to, have your audience kind of trying that and send us their feedback and of course, enjoying the great audio that we have in our platform.
Excellent. Well, I'll add all those links to the show notes just so people can find you nice and easily. But I love how everything from podcasts to radio streams and other audio sources are all tagged, indexed and created audio segment bursts, which are then searchable by keyword, contents and topic, and all made possible through artificial intelligence. And you couldn't have said it better early on in the episode where you said it's an incredibly exciting yet challenging time. I think it's fantastic. But more than anything, I know you're incredibly busy and you must be really stressed at the moment with this release coming up. Just a big thank you for taking that time out to come and speak with me today.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure.
There were so many takeaways for me from this episode. I mean, the impact of audio search technology, the future of podcasts and radio content, and the opportunity for greater monetization for content creators, and also how AI is going to have a huge impact on this genre. And like I said at the beginning of the show, Audioburst has already recently announced partnerships with Samsung Venture Investments and Bose, and it's integrating these technologies that are going to be the epicenter for our home and work environments, all within only 5 years. And if I have a look under the hood, I can see that Audioburst is available on popular devices such as Amazon Alexa, Google Home, and is also available on iOS, Android apps, as well as in-car entertainment. So when I read all this, I automatically think, maybe the future is audio rather than video. And I'll be honest with you, I hope it is, because I have a great face for radio rather than video. But as always, let me know your thoughts on today's episode, or indeed any episode of the Tech Blog Rider podcast, and keep those questions coming my way. You can tweet me at Neil C. Hughes. You can email me techblogwriter@outlook.com. I'm sat here waiting for your messages, so what are you waiting for? So a big thank you for keeping me company today. I do look forward to chatting with some of you online, and the rest of you, I'll see you bright and early tomorrow with another great episode for you. So thanks for listening, and until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.